2024 will not bring us shortages of new PS5 games. Here's a summary of some of the best news, and the next games that will be released on PS5 throughout 2024. And as a disclaimer, these are the games we know. There are many things unannounced that may arise during the year. You know, great owned titles, such as Insomniac's Wolverine, still has no release date, and other important things like Grand Theft Auto 6. We have no idea when that will actually happen. Here are some of the best known things. Like we said, we have 10 games to talk about. So let's start with number 10.
We have Banishers, Ghosts of New Eden. This is a third-person action-adventure game from Don't Nod, the people behind so many things like Vampire, Life is Strange. They make a big variety of games, and this one is definitely more in the vein of Vampire, or Vampire, if you will, where you play as like a kind of ghost-hunting couple, fighting ghouls and creatures and kind of warping between realms because one of the people in the relationship is actually a ghost. There's some cool ideas here. I'm really curious to see how this goes down and what kind of story they tell, because I usually like these types of games Don't Nod puts out. And we'll know for sure when it releases February 13th, 2024. Next over at number 9, we have Lost Soul Aside. This one has been in the works for quite some time and teased as a smaller project many years ago, and has blown up into this full-scale project and looks very much inspired by like the cool, slick action and characters from like Final Fantasy VII, but also some of the combat and stuff from Devil May Cry, also like Stellar Blade we talked about earlier. A lot of attention here is specifically centered around the graphics. The visuals here are clearly pretty stunning. We're really curious to see what comes of this one, and as of right now, it's slated for 2024. Next over at number 8, Stellar Blade. This one has been in the works for a while and has mostly been shown off as a graphical showcase. It very much looks like an Unreal Engine 5 game turned up to 11, and what it is kind of a sci-fi fantasy hack-and-slash adventure. It looks like it's almost got like a science fiction Devil May Cry thing to it. And I'm frankly all about that. Apparently you are this sci-fi paratrooper warrior named Eve, who goes to Earth on an adventure, but this Earth is destroyed. Basically, mankind has moved on beyond Earth and lives in space colonies, so she's got to venture through this post-apocalyptic sci-fi Earth and fight awesome big monsters. That's really all we have to go on at the time of making this video. Sony and PlayStation have planned to reveal more soon, but as of right now, it just looks cool. That's all we got, but sometimes looking cool and fun is all you really need. Next over at number 7, we have Skull and Bones. Skull and Bones. Yes, Ubisoft's long-in-the-works pirate game is finally almost here. What started off as, I guess, like a spin-off of Assassin's Creed before, Black Flag's pirate-style gameplay, Skull and Bones is this big, massive multiplayer thing where you get to be your own pirate, build your own ship, man your own crew, and go on adventures. This thing has been delayed and delayed and delayed for years and years, and that could spell disaster, or it could spell an idea worth pushing through this long. We don't know for sure, but we're excited to finally check it out because, to be completely honest, the world always needs more pirate games. I know we have the, Assassin's Creed pirate games, we have Sea of Thieves, we have classic pirate games, but like Skull and Bones can really hopefully bring something different. We don't know for sure. We're going to judge it when we get our hands on it when that releases February 16th. Next over at number 6. Tomb Raider 1-3 Remastered next, over at number 6. Believe it or not, we have Tomb Raider 1-3 Remastered. This might not be a big deal to some people, but for some of you older heads out there, myself included, it's really fun to see the original PS1 classic back in action with a little bit of a fresh coat of paint. They definitely aren't completely remaking the thing from the ground up. Like you can see, it is still very clearly the old original Tomb Raider games with all their faults, but they have a lot of charm and we're really excited to replay them and really revisit those worlds because they were very unique at the time. Lara was very difficult to control, even back in the day. So I'm curious to see just where they fine-tuned things, where they updated things. They did confirm you're still going to be able to lock the butler in the fridge. That's a very specific reference to the old games, but if you played, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, next over at number 5.
A power that takes many forms. Might even prove to be yourself.
Persona 3, Reload dropping in February. This is a re-release, total update of the original beloved Persona 3 classic with a bunch of new elements and some change-ups, but also just a good reason to revisit the classic. Now, Persona 3 is going to be available on all the major platforms, which is great. And of course, specifically here, PS5 characters that people absolutely fell in love with, and some incredible music, that's what's coming to you, and we hope it holds up in 2024. Next over at number 4.
We're facing a Tyranid splinter fleet. They engaged us on 2 planets.
Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. We have Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2. This is the follow-up to the absolutely awesome hack-and-slash adventure Space Marine. I think this new game has the potential to garner new Warhammer 40,000 fans, specifically because, as a normie myself, I think this looks very cool. I played the original Space Marine, absolutely loved it, and, I was able to at least pick up a little bit of Warhammer stuff. Will Space Marine 2 really make me go down the rabbit hole finally? I don't know for sure, but this just looks like a ton of fun. Beautiful visuals on screen, hordes of enemies to slay, badass main character, cool weapons, gore, it's just video game 101. We really hope they nail it like they did with the first one. We're going to be checking it out September 9th, 2024. Black Myth Wukong this summer. We're getting Black Myth Wukong. This is the kind of action, hack-and-slash, Souls-like game centered around Chinese mythology and a classical novel. So you got a lot of fantasy elements, a really cool main character, and just some incredible over-the-top combat and boss battles. I mean, this game has absolutely wowed us from the start when we got our first glimpse of it. It's from a Chinese developer that we haven't really seen any of the other games before. But this one looks absolutely massive and ambitious, and we're curious to see if they can nail it because, like we said, those trailers right from the beginning really got us hooked. And now seeing the game fully fleshed out, it does look really enticing. It's releasing August 19th, 2024. Tekken 8. The recently released Tekken 8 is really making fans of the series happy. It is another solid entry in the Tekken series where they rarely miss, if we're being honest, out with some new characters that bring some interesting things into the mix. A little bit more additions to the fighting mechanics, but otherwise a straightforward, fun Tekken game with a really cool little character creator, character modifier, and they continue the story, and they manage to continue to keep it interesting 8 games in. That's really impressive. So let us know in the comments what you guys think. Of course, we could not fit every single game in the world, So if we missed something that you think we should talk about in another video, let us know in the comments. But if you like this video and you just like talking games with us every day, all you gotta do is click the like button. It really helps us out. Thank you for that. But if you're new, consider subscribing and maybe hitting that notification bell as well, because we put out videos every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.